super excited about this space. Let's get a bit of a clean up done first, and then we can get you up here and do some measurements, eh?
I think that's a great idea because then I can map out the layout of the tiles. These are your essential steps on how to plan your space for tiling.
But it's also important to take note, you need some essential items as well. You're going to need a level, a tape measure, a pen and paper. They're going to be your basics to make sure you plan your space well.
Make sure you design well, plan well, and do your research. Okay, here we are back in the space and we've actually prepped clean, so we're all ready to go. Aaron behind me is getting ready for the dimensions and to let us know how many tiles we need.
So for this space here, we're looking for square dimensions, so it's length by width. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to measure the length here and push that along. Now we've got 3.5 meters or 3,500 millimeters by 1 meter. So that gives us our overall space. Now what we need to do is work out the deductions. So we've got 2 mirror image spaces here. We're just going to double check with the measurements to make sure they are a mirror image. So we have 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter, and this one here is 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter. So now what we've got an overall floor space with 2 deductions. Now we can work out how many tiles we need to get in the space.
What I do have to ask you though, do we need 10% wastage in this space, and how critical is it to have 10% wastage?
Look, having 10% wastage is probably the most important thing. With tiling, you always have to remember they're never going to be exact cuts. You're going to end up with small pieces, off cuts, etc. You need the 10% wastage to make sure you can actually finish the tile space and not run out of tiles.
All right, let's get tiling happening.
Alright, so how do we go with those measurements?
Okay, so what I've come up with the overall and the deduction, we've got 3.3 square meters with the wastage as well. But yeah, now perfect. I need you to work out the stairs because that is just for the landing.
Stairs are nice and easy. Let's show you how to work out them now. So here we are at the stairs. Now in this case here, I know that the landing and the stairs are in the same width, so I can put away the tape measure. I know that measurement's 3.5 meters. Now we've selected a beautiful 300 by 600 tile from Johnson Tiles. That is going to be our stair tread. Now we know that that's 600 wide. I've got to cover 3.5 meters. So 3.5 meters divided by 0.6, that leaves me with 6 tiles to cover each stair as I go down.
But can I ask you, are we measuring in lineal or square meters, and what's the actual difference?
So for when it comes to stairs, because obviously it's only a single tile in width, we only need to work it out in lineal meterage. But when it comes to bigger areas like floors and landings and stuff like that, you need a length and a width because they're big square areas. So it's lineal meters for the stairs, and that's how it all works. We have an area here that's exposed to the elements. So what that means is it's going to get wet. We need to make sure that the landing down here has sufficient fall to make sure that the water runs away from the house. So I've got a digital level here. It's going to tell me how much fall we've got to make sure that our tiles don't pond any water and everything stays nice and dry. So as I look at it here, I've got 12 mil over this meter. That is absolutely perfect. It's more than sufficient enough fall to make sure that water runs away from the house. Now with the stairs, it's also important to make sure that the front of the stairs here is perfectly level. That is going to be one of the most important features to make tiling nice and easy. So we have here an area, as you can see, that's a 0 bubble. That means everything's perfect. We're right to start working on the layout. With layouts, it's really important to take note of what other features are in the space. So with this area here, we've got some brick columns, I've got a door edge, and I've got a center. So I know that I've got 6 tiles in width. So with that, I'm going to run off center of door here, and we're going to run 3 tiles either side. That way, when I look from outside, that symmetry line is naturally created, and everything looks nice and special. So what do you know? I got a pencil here. Let's get that stuff written down. And then all we do, we put a nice line in with a level, get that marked down. That way we've got a symmetrical datum point to work everything off. And now I know that line will continue there, down the stairs all the way through, and that lines up symmetrically with the door. That's gonna look perfect.